What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Garage Gang Podcast. My name is Joe, and normally I have two other companions with me, Aaron and Kenny. They're not with us today, so I decided to do an episode by myself talking about my 75 hard mental toughness program that I've done really these last couple months since January 3rd. Before we start, I just want to thank everybody. Thank you for the support. Thank you for everything, just with the podcast, but just in life in general. It means so much to me, and it means the world to me. So thank you for that. So before we get started, I kind of need to fill you in on what is exactly 75 hard. What is this? You hear a lot of people talking about it. Like, what is it? So, sorry, had to fix my audio there. So, 75 Hard is a mental toughness program that is it has different components of it, and all these components, you have to do every single thing for 75 days, and if you don't, you have to start back over at day 1. So, these things this program consists of two 45-minute workouts a day, drink a gallon of water a day, read 10 pages of a book, stick to a diet, no cheat meals, no alcohol, and take a progress picture. Every single one of those tasks for 75 days, I've done it. I've done it. Wow. Side note, I am so used to having Aaron and Kenny here, so it's kind of weird by myself. So sorry if I ramble or anything of that nature. But it is pretty hard doing this by yourself, in case you guys were wondering. So, anyways, I heard this program about. When did I start listening to Andy Frisella's podcast? So, Andy Frisella is the CEO and owner of First Form Supplements. Yeah, he does a bunch of gym stuff, does like protein powders, protein bars, shakes, all that types of stuff. He also has a podcast. His podcast is Real AF, formerly known as the MFCEO Project. And Frisella is just an absolute beast of a guy. If you've ever listened to his podcast, if you've ever seen him on social media, he's just very, very intense. And that's what I like about him. He's just absolutely insane, and I love it. So basically, he created this mental toughness program in order to kind of like fix your life, I guess. It wasn't easy, and it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I really decided to do it just because, one, I haven't really set any personal goals for myself, any big personal goals for myself. That is, it's just kind of weird. I'm a goal oriented person, and since all of this like COVID stuff and all these crazy things going on the last couple of years, I've kind of lost sight of that. I just really kind of stopped caring about a lot of things in my life. Like, if I can be truly honest with you guys, I kind of just stopped caring. And it it wasn't so much of like the things that were happening, it was just how they were happening, the fact that we're not able to question any of it. And I don't know, I kind of see right through things, if that makes sense, without getting too much into it. But anyways, I decided to do it, and I actually decided to do this last year, or 2 years ago, actually. No, it was last year. Last year in August. And I made it 21 days of the 75, and my parents were actually in town. And I decided not to go to the gym and not do my workout. So I didn't do the program. So, and Andy Frisella is big on it. He says, you do the program, you don't try the program. Because if you try the program, that's like you telling yourself that you're going to fail. You do the program and you just handle it. So, the first time I tried it, the first time I did it, I failed at 21 days. This is probably, like I said, one of the hardest things I've had to do in my life. And I decided to wait until after the new year, after all the holidays were over, all the junk food, the candy, the cookies, the brownies, all that stuff. So I decided first Monday of January, I'm doing it and I'm seeing it through. And that's exactly what I did. So, disclaimer about this program. What I did is, so technically, your two 45-minute workouts are, one is supposed to be outside and they're supposed to be 4 hours apart from each other. Now, there's a disclaimer because I did this a little differently, and I'll explain why. So, I still did my two 45-minute workouts a day, but I didn't do one outside. And Andy Frisella is probably, if he is ever watching this, he's probably going to be so pissed at me, but it is what it is. And with my job comes working 16-hour days sometimes. And I personally feel like I would be a liability had I stuck to that get up early, go work out, get off work after 16 hours, go work out, and then getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Like, that's not healthy. And I would be a liability at work. And it's not, I'm not just responsible for myself, I'm responsible for my partners as well. So I decided that it would be in my best interest and my safety and other people's safety to do this when to do my workouts consecutively and for an hour and a half. So to the two 45-minute workouts. So basically, I would venture to say majority of the time, I would go to the gym, lift for 45 minutes, and then I would go do cardio for 45 minutes. So actually, like at the beginning, I think it was like the first week of all this, I actually tested positive for COVID, so I couldn't go to the gym. So I have a little baseball hitting net and a little pitching machine that throws the balls up. And it was, I'm sorry, I think my dog's barking. Ugh, she never shuts up. So anyways, so it was a pitching machine and I would hit the balls into the net. I would put the machine down and then field ground balls and throw it into the net. I would just do that. We have like a little stationary elliptical bike at home. I would do that. So that was kind of rough not having the gym, but definitely use the gym. And with that said, it was actually pretty nice. So I started on the treadmill at 6 miles an hour doing my sprints. So my cardio would consist of a 45-minute cardio session, but on every 5-minute increment, I would sprint for a minute. And I started at 6, and my last sprint was 8.5. So throughout that 75 days, I've gained 2.5 miles per hour on my sprint without being super, super winded, which is pretty damn cool. I just think really like the workouts, that's like the seller of the program. Like, you are working out, you're getting yourself better. But I think just really the physical toll this program takes on your body. Not only are you working out every single day, but it's so hard to just get into that rhythm and stay into that rhythm. You are putting your body through hell. And I mean, I'm telling you, by like 74, probably by day 70, I'd say, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. Like, my legs hurt, everything hurts. Like I said, you're just putting your body through hell. I think it's very important to touch on the mental aspect of this, as not as well as the physical aspect, but the mentality of all of this is so important. And it's really, honestly, probably the most important thing about this program is Andy Frisella says you have a voice inside your head. He calls it the bitch voice. It's the voice of doubt. It's the voice of, oh, well, that cookie looks good, or, you don't have to work hard today in your workouts. You worked hard yesterday, or, whatever the case is. It's just that that little devil on your shoulder whispering in your ear, saying different stuff. I can attest to that. And I can tell you, even on day 75, I got on the treadmill and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, man, like, I can't believe I just did this. On my second workout, I was 45 minutes away from being done with this program. And even on the last day, I still, that bitch voice was like, man, you don't have to do your sprints. Like, you're good. Just walk for 45 minutes. And quickly, I kind of like reversed it and was like, nah, like, this is my last workout. I'm going hard. That's what I got to do. So it's really honestly like a mental thing, just not like with working out, but just with everything. Like, I now have the capacity to say no to things in my life that I wouldn't previously. I now have the capacity to say, hey, I can drink a beer, not 7 beers. I can have 3 Oreos, not a whole row of Oreos. You're just like things like that, like this program teaches you, and you'll use it in your everyday life. So that was kind of about the workouts. Did a lot, and honestly, like with the workouts, I owe a really really big thank you to two things. One, my fiance. My fiance joined the gym, and she did a lot of the workouts with me, went to the gym with me. And even though she didn't necessarily want to, I know on some days, but she very much supported me. And Melanie, I thank you for that so much. The second thing is I want to shout out the Anytime Fitness, Napomo staff, Allison, Sean, Sydney. Like, you guys rock. Thank you guys for being there for me. It was so nice being able to talk to you guys and see you guys and knowing like, hey, like, I don't know if I have my A game today, but like seeing you guys really kind of like lifted my spirits. So thank you for that. So that was about the workouts. Second task on the list is drink a gallon of water a day. I think this by far probably the hardest tasks. I think you have to have a plan of attack when you drink your gallon of water. And that's what it is. And days when you deviate from that attack is just too much. You're trying to drown yourself with water. It's late at night. Oh man, it's insane. So my plan of attack was I would try to get below where like the wrapping paper is, try to get below that line by the time I left work. And if I didn't have work that day, I would sit and drink probably until 2 o'clock, and then kind of take a rest for a little bit, and then drink the rest kind of around dinner time. That was my plan of attack. A part of drinking that much water is having to pee so much. So there's times where, I mean, heaven forbid you go on a road trip, man, you got to piss all the time, especially if you're trying to, get your water done really quick in the day. You're just having to pee left and right all the time. There's a couple of close calls where I almost didn't make it. It was like 11:15, I think, is the latest that I finished my water, and that was just because it was a travel day. Came back from Tulare, and I kind of thought about it to where I didn't want to drink a lot of water throughout that trip, and so because I knew that we would have to stop, so I just didn't really drink throughout that trip, and I actually started my gallon at like 3 p.m., and so that was a rough day, but we handled it. The next aspect of 75 Hard is read 10 pages of a book. So I actually brought my books out. I want to share with you guys what books that I've read. So the first book that I read, I actually started previously before 75 Hard, and that is 1984. So basically 1984, if you haven't read it, is very, very much like our society today, if to the extreme. So very much like government totalitarian controlled. This book was written in 1942, I believe, but it's a fiction book, but very, very good stuff in this book. Very well written. A lot of good things to take away from it. So there's 1984. The second book I read was The Four Agreements. It's kind of shorter. Definitely a lot to take from it. There's four different agreements in our life that would serve us better every single day. The first one is be impeccable with your word. The second one is don't take anything personally. The third one is don't make assumptions. And the fourth one is always do your best. So this is written by Don Miguel Ruiz. And there's definitely a lot of good stuff in this book. Even though it's it's a smaller book with big print, but this is like, just some of the notes that I've taken in this book. I'm trying to just see if I can pinpoint some here. He's talking about being impeccable with your word. It says, when you are impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself. See, that type of stuff in this book. This is very, very good. I bought it on Amazon. Maybe it was like $12. Very, very good. Highly recommend. The third book I read was Sovereignty. So you guys have heard me talk a lot about the Order of Man podcast. Hands down, my favorite podcast. Ryan Mickler, he's out of Maine, started this podcast to reclaim and restore masculinity. And Sovereignty is by far the best book that I've read during this program. I could show you guys all the highlights. You see all that orange right there. Like, let's just pick a random highlight. Let's see. Talking about a skill set, and he says the greater threat lies not in walking alone, but in never doing what you were meant to do. That's just one of the many highlights that I have written down. So much good stuff, so much good things. Says, but when I accept that I have the ultimate responsibility to myself and others, I now have positioned myself for the growth and expansion that can only come through critical thinking and intentional action. Yo, I'm telling you guys, if you are a man especially, please read this book. You can get it on orderofman.com. It's phenomenal. And Mickler's actually it's in the process of writing another book that should be coming out in the fall. Sovereignty by Ryan Mickler. Please go check it out. The fourth book I read, ironically, is called The Fourth Turning. And this book is pretty gnarly. Very, very small print. It talks about history. So basically in this book, it talks about how history is set on a timeline of 80 to 100 years. And in those 80 to 100 years, there is four different parts of about 20 to 25 years each. These parts are it goes really into depth of it, but basically these parts are called turnings, and each turning is something different, and there's different, I don't want to say mood swings, I guess, but it accurately describes kind of the shit storm that we're going through right now in our country. And the crazy thing is that this book was written in 1997. Like, how can a book written in 1997 use history to accurately predict what's going to happen? At some point in this book, I don't remember what page it's on, but pretty much it talks about how in the fourth turning, which is called the crisis era, talks about, found it, perfect. Talks about things that could possibly happen. Now, hang on to your hats, everybody. This is pretty crazy. There's different bullet points of basically predicting these things that could happen because of what history has shown us previously. They state, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced the spread of a new communicable virus. The disease reaches densely populated areas, killing some. Congress enacts mandatory quarantine measures. The president orders the National Guard to throw prophylactic cordons around unsafe neighborhoods. Mayors resist. Urban gangs battle suburban militias. Calls mount for the president to declare martial law. How can a book that was written in 1997 accurately predict what's going on? Wait, there's more. Growing anarchy throughout the former Soviet republics prompts Russia to conduct training exercises around its borders. Lithuania erupts in civil war. Negotiations break down. U.S. diplomats are captured and publicly taunted. The president airlifts troops to rescue them and orders ships into the Black Sea. Iran declares its alliance with Russia. Gold and oil prices soar. Congress debates restoring the draft. If that's not enough for you to go and read this book, I don't know what is. We are born at such a great time in history, in such an insane time that we're going through right now, and this book accurately describes it all. So what I will leave you with this book is the first turning of our timeline started when World War II ended and went from World War II to Kennedy's assassination. The second turning started at Kennedy's assassination and ended with Reagan's second term in office. The third turning started with Reagan's second term in office and the economy crash of 2008. The fourth turning started in 2008 with the economy crash and is predicted to last until 2030. Which means we got a couple more years of all this craziness. But do yourself a favor, read this book. I know it's a lot. Even just skim through what the fourth turning is and familiarize yourself with it. And like, this is backed by history, and it's not just American history. There's data that goes all the way back to like the 1400s. So fourth turning, check it out. My last book I started, got about 40 pages in, was Tim Tebow, Mission Impossible. I think this is Tebow's fourth or fifth book he's written. And Tebow is a phenomenal writer, just a phenomenal person, great person to look up to. As you can see already in the first pages, I got some highlights. Just phenomenal book. Talks about living life with a purpose and is incredible. So Mission Impossible, check it out. So that was my reading 10 pages mostly. And there were days where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to read more. And so, I read more. The fourth part of this is sticking to a diet. So what diet I did, because I get asked this a lot when I talk about the program, and it's very simple, and I don't even know if it would be considered a diet, is I did no fast food. So no McDonald's, Taco Bell, In-N-Out, none of that. Nothing with a drive-through. And with this diet, I want to say like it was fairly easy. I just had to cook at home more. So I would barbecue, make stuff at home, grilled a lot of chicken, made like chicken Caesar salads, did burrito bowls with ground turkey, even got a hankering for Taco Bell. So Melanie and I made beefy 5-layer burritos homemade. Then we made Crunchwrap Supremes homemade. Just different things. But not saying I didn't ever go out to eat, because we still went out to eat. But when we did, I would just try to keep it a healthier option. And to me, that was easy to do, because I felt like if I stuck to a diet, if I stuck to keto, if I did all these things, I'd feel a lot of pressure. With this, I felt a lot of freedom to make the decisions to eat what I wanted to eat. Let's see, what was next? Okay, number 5, no cheat meals, no alcohol. So again, no cheat meals kind of go with the sticking to a diet. Not once during this program did I go out to eat, or did I have fast food. So I want to talk about the no alcohol part, because honestly, there were times where I was super tempted, and I want to tell you guys about one of the days that I was really tempted, and that was for Aaron's wife Kayla's birthday party. It was her 30th birthday party, kind of towards the end of January, I believe. End of January. I was on day like 30. No, it was the beginning of February. I was on like day 33 or 34, and no alcohol, right? So we're on a party bus. We take a party bus from Napomo to Paso Robles. It's a long time to be on a party bus with a bunch of people drinking. And mind you, I had my little gallon of water, was babysitting that thing, and I don't want to say people were making fun of me, but I definitely felt the peer pressure to have a drink. That was probably the most at that time. That was probably the most tempted that I had gotten to just drink, because I'm definitely a social drinker. I like going to concerts, going dancing, just being with my friends and having a beer. Not necessarily getting all ham sandwich, but just go out and have a good time. So I just had my water and was drinking my water and just knew that, hey, I'm the sober driver today. So not too bad. And the last part is taking a progress picture. So they're probably the easiest task of 75 hard. And there were times where I'm laying in bed, I'm like, shit, I forgot to take my progress picture. So I'd get up, go to the spare bedroom, take my progress picture, my little underwear, and then go and lay back down. Definitely easy to forget, though. Definitely easy to forget. So, all in all, in this program, I started at 274 and I weighed in at 243 was my lightest. And it was so hard because there were days where I would just, okay, I'm going to get my water done. Boom. And I get my water. And it was kind of towards the end. So I feel like my weight wasn't really my true weight. It was a lot of water weight. Because on days that I would get up to go work out in the morning, I always would be lighter because I haven't drinking any water yet. So now I know for next time that if, when it's weigh-in days or whenever I need to weigh myself, to try to do it early in the morning, so that way I'm not all logged with water weight. I learned actually a lot from this program, but I really want to touch on 5 key things. The first one is hard work pays off. So I worked my ass off every single day to accomplish this program, whether that's not reading until 10 o'clock at night and like falling asleep reading the book, but still getting it done. Whether that's not really wanting to go work out, but still doing it anyways. Like, great things happen when you go outside of your comfort zone. I have never been a gym rat. I've never been let's go lift weights. I've, familiarized myself playing baseball and doing all that, going to the weight room, that type of stuff. But I've never been that guy to, I'm going to go lift today. But I can tell you, like, absolutely, the work that I put into this program is, bar none, probably the hardest I've worked in a very, very long time. So hard work pays off, and don't ever forget that. Put the work in if you want to be successful with anything, not just with this program, with life in general. Number 2, the confidence in myself to do absolutely anything. So throughout this program, you kind of start, and I don't know, probably after the first month, your shirts start to fit better. Your shorts or your pants feel a little looser. You gain that confidence and you roll with it. I don't know how to explain it, but when your shirts fit better, especially when you have, like, if you're a bigger person, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. When you have like 3 or 4 favorite shirts that you want to wear because they fit just right and no other shirt fits good, like, I don't have that problem anymore. I can wear absolutely any shirt in my closet and it feels great because I've lost the weight that I needed to. I've gained confidence in myself, not just physically, mentally, but spiritually. Like, every aspect of my life, I've gained confidence. it's just insane to me to think. Sorry, I might get emotional. This is good stuff right here. It's insane to me to think when I first started how not confident I was in myself. How I didn't really believe in myself, that I didn't even think I was going to finish the program. It's a lot. So, number 3, my life is in order and I have control again. That kind of goes back to saying what I said earlier. I can have 1 beer, not 7 beers. I can have a cookie, but not 10 cookies. To have that control in your life is very, very important. And it's equally as important to be able to say no. And really putting myself through those situations with not drinking and not going out to eat, having to miss out on different things because of this program. Like, it's okay to say no. And I've taught myself that. Because I'm very much I will go out of my way to help you out type of person. But sometimes you got to say no. You don't necessarily want to, but sometimes you have to. So there's a lot of power and a lot of confidence that comes with that control. Number 4, you live each day with a purpose, right? So every day I'd get up. Sometimes I would go to the gym early before I get off. Or get off before I go to work. Some days I would go to the gym after I got off work. There were some days I didn't go to the gym at all. It just, you plan out your day kind of accordingly. And it's crazy because you're like, oh, I can't do that. I got to go get my workouts in. And so there's times where I left like different outings and to go do 75 hard tasks. For example, so we went to Aaron's parents' house for like a little barbecue after Kayla's birthday. Well, that whole entire day, I did my workouts early. I drank my gallon of water pretty early. I still hadn't read my 10 pages yet. So as soon as we got there, I told Melanie, I said, hey, I'm going to stay in the car, finish my 10 pages, and then I'll be over there in a little bit. So I forced myself, hey, you're going to do this. This is not going to be the reason why you fell, and you just handle it. When you live each day with a purpose and you have things set, it's so much easier to get things done. And I'm not a type of guy to write and journal different things. And you hear Mickler talks about a battle plan. Frisella talks about a power list. I'm just not that guy to physically write things down, because I know when I write things down, I won't go back and hold myself accountable. So now I have to do everything in here. That's just how I am personally. Everybody's different. But when you live each day with a purpose during this program, like, you definitely see the results of that. You are now more disciplined and now have the skills. You have now forged the skills to become successful in your life. Speaking of discipline, that is the 5th thing. So, like I said, you have the discipline to do and not do things. So, that kind of goes back, that ties in with number 3, with having the control. It's very important, very, very important to have that discipline. So, all in all, like I said, I've lost 31 pounds doing this program. And this isn't like a workout thing. It's a mental toughness program. And just by eating better, drinking that gallon of water. And honestly, like, I thought it would be harder, but when you drink the water early throughout the day, that kind of quells the hunger and you don't feel as hungry. Now, a lot of probably the better meals that I had were dinners, because I would snack throughout the day, whether it be pistachios, whether it be bananas or apple slices or whatever the case is, snack a little bit, drink some water, and then go to the gym. And then after I go to the gym, you're burning off more calories because you haven't eaten a whole lot. You drink a bunch of water and you've snacked on something. So you're actually burning true calories, not the food that you just ate 3 hours before. So, yeah, down 31 pounds. and I feel great. So a lot of people ask me, so Joe, what's next? Well, 75 Hard is the first step of the Live Hard program that Andy Frisella does. And phase one is what is next. And phase one is a little bit different, but it's kind of the same. So phase one is 30 days long, and you can do it anytime after you've completed 75 Hard. Phase one is 75 Hard for 30 days with the addition of a 5-minute cold shower, 10 minutes of dedicated visualization, and add three critical power tasks to your list. So a power task to my list would be making sure or adding 3 goals to my day, because I don't do the list thing. That's not who I am. That's not, I don't think, who I'll ever be. So in my mind, that would be adding 3 goals to my day, making sure the dishes are done, making sure my laundry is folded and put away, making sure I clean out the carport, like whatever the case is. Add that to your day. So that's phase one. Phase two, you wait 30 days after completing phase one, and it's 30 days of regular 75 hard. So pretty simple. Phase three, the last phase, must be done 30 days prior to your start date of 75 hard. So I started January 3rd, so 30 days would be December 4th, 5th, something like that. Whatever the case is, sometime in December for me. It's a 5-minute cold shower, 3 critical power tasks, 10 minutes of dedicated visualization, a random act of kindness, and talk to a stranger. That's probably going to be the hardest one. Not so much the act of kindness or anything else, but talking to a stranger. That could be difficult, but that could also be easy for me because I work with a bunch of strangers all the time. So it's kind of up in the air. So that is Andy Frisella's Live Hard program. I am very, very thankful for this. This program essentially has saved my life. There's really no other way to put it. It saved my life, and I'm so very thankful for this. So if you guys have any questions at all, hit me up on our Instagram page. Ask me, text me, call me. If you have any other questions, you want to check out the book, he has a book on 75 Hard. It's on his website, andyfrisella.com. There's more links about 75 Hard. I think you can listen to his podcast that explains 75 Hard and the whole entire Live Hard program in its entirety. I think that's episode 208 on the Real AF podcast feed. So thank you guys again for going on this journey with me. I haven't really said much to anybody about really anything. I figured that this would be something I keep to myself, bust my ass, do what I got to do, then I got to share it with everybody. So thank you for allowing me the platform to share with you guys. I appreciate you guys listening. You guys have a good day. Take it easy. GG's out.